Straight ahead on CCX News, all this rain leads to flooding concerns. We'll show you a plan in Golden Valley to remedy a long-time problem. Plus, the cost of congestion. In part 2 of our transportation series, a look at the impact clogged roads have on business. But first, a close call for a police officer in his vehicle, and it's all caught on video. CCX News starts right now. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. A New Hope police officer says he is lucky to be alive after his squad car was hit by a driver. Officials say the accident could have been avoided if the motorist had just paid attention. Here's reporter Sonia Goins.
It still gets me every time seeing that and just kind of watching from another perspective.
Officer Tony Gust with the New Hope Police Department is sharing his story about being hit by a distracted driver.
Really is a shock just to kind of relive and see that moment. I really did not know the full severity of it until watching that, just how bad it could have been.
On August 6th, Gust and his partner were stopped at the intersection of 42nd and Boone Avenue. When the light changed, Gust proceeded and his partner followed. But just as Gust crossed into the road, this happened.
She was already immediately upon my vehicle to the point where there was no time to even react or turn or go another direction.
Gus's partner captured the crash on his dash camera. The impact caused the police car to spin 180 degrees before the squad hit a third vehicle.
I saw just the view of her car and the crushed front end and how severe that looked, and I just immediately feared the worst.
Gus immediately got out of his car to check on the driver who hit him. Now, the driver wasn't on her cell phone, but her actions behind the wheel still had serious consequences. Officials say she took her eyes off the road just for a minute to reach for a water bottle when the accident occurred. Accidents like these are all too common in Minnesota. According to the Department of Public Safety, there were more than 2,300 crashes in the last 5 years that involved squad cars, 6 which were fatal.
You name it, people do it behind the wheel. And so it comes down to paying attention. And if you do need to take a drink, okay, just make sure you do it in a way that is safe.
Remarkably, in this latest case, no one was seriously hurt.
The fact that the other driver and I both walked away without injuries, we were both very, very fortunate.
In New Hope, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
The driver who hit the squad was cited with a misdemeanor for failing to stop at a red light. 2 weeks later, there was another distracted driver-related crash, this time involving injuries at that same intersection. Authorities have identified 2 people killed in a head-on crash last Thursday on Highway 55 in Corcoran. 36-year-old Jimmy Burns of Plymouth was pronounced dead at the scene. The other driver, a 70-year-old Rockford man, also died at the scene. It's unclear yet what happened leading up to that crash. A Wayzata High School student had to be taken to the hospital following a vehicle-pedestrian accident Monday afternoon on the school's campus. The principal says the student was treated for minor injuries. School officials say the accident serves as a reminder for drivers to slow down and for pedestrians to pay attention. The school does plan to review its traffic safety measures. All of this rain this week won't help. The intersection at Medicine Lake Road and Winnetka Avenue has had major flooding issues for years. Reporter Meredith Hackler shows us how the cities of Golden Valley, Crystal, and New Hope are all working together to stop the chronic flooding issue.
You know, when it rains a lot, you can see how some of your projects are working, and so we got to see this project in action.
While flooding near Medicine Lake Road and Rhode Island Avenue has gotten better, there's still more work to be done. New Hope, Golden Valley, and Crystal are working together to fix the problem.
The 3 cities got together to study the flooding issue and try to come up with some solutions. And the cities, what we came up with was a long-term flood mitigation plan that includes several capital projects to help create flood storage and lower flood levels, thereby reducing the risk of flood damage in this area.
What you see here is phase 1 of the mitigation project. The city added this flood storage area along with closing off a portion of Rhode Island Avenue.
The idea is to create areas for the water to go, flood storage, and then to release that water slowly downstream so that you can reduce flooding.
And that's exactly what phase 2 will do.
The first and second project will tie into each other and work together. So a large box culvert will be constructed between the 2 areas. Flood storage will be created and excavated behind us on in a permanent easement dedicated by the Dover Hill apartment property owners and on a portion of the Pennsylvania Woods nature area around Decola Ponds B and C.
And while the project will help residents in the area have a better quality of life, it will also benefit the environment.
We'll be excavating and creating a water quality pond, and so that'll help clean and treat the water before it's discharged downstream. So that's a big benefit. We're also going to be moving some of the invasive species like buckthorn.
In Golden Valley, Meredith Hackler, CCX News.
Construction on phase 2 of the project will start in the fall of 2019 and wrap up by the summer of 2020. In New Hope, work continues on the new City Hall and Police Station building. City officials say installation of the roof has been completed, as are most of the exterior finishes. Once they install windows, the building will be watertight, which means they can work on the inside throughout the winter. New Hope staff says they are looking forward to the new building, and not just for themselves.
It's not just a place for us city workers to be in and work, and yes, that's going to be nice, but it's really going to be a good building for residents to come in, for the general public to enjoy.
The new building is on track to be open next July. Still ahead, an eye-opening report about your commute, what traffic congestion costs each driver. Plus, highlights from semifinal matches in the Section 5 girls tennis tournament. But first, still no break from the rain, with temperatures making it feel more like November. How much time do you spend in traffic congestion? Today, we take a closer look in part 2 of our CCX News transportation series, Barrels, Brake Lights, and Cone Zones, a road report. A new report out today by the American Society of Civil Engineers shows the average Twin Cities driver spends more than 40 hours in traffic congestion every year. That adds up to costing each driver more than $1,300. And according to the report, the problem is only getting worse. Eric Nelson takes a closer look at how congestion impacts local business.
When the interstates become parking lots, business suffers.
I think our drivers are definitely feeling the stress.
Road construction took a toll this summer on delivery drivers at Pilgrim Cleaners in Brooklyn Park.
The main cost for our business is the overtime. So our drivers are having to do the same route every day. It's just taking them longer. With labor costs as high as they are, we're just feeling the effects of the overtime.
Pilgrim's fleet of 9 trucks face daily challenges because of cone zones and other traffic issues.
We're putting a lot of pressure on them to try to stay within a reasonable amount of time for deliveries, but there's not a whole lot they can do, so I'm sure they're definitely frustrated.
Road construction, such as the US 169 project in Brooklyn Park and Champlin, forced Pilgrim's drivers to find alternate routes, but there was no avoiding delivery delays.
They're sitting in traffic on the road, they're kind of just stuck, and there's not much they can really do.
It was very much a rough summer. We had a lot of closures up here. We had single lane traffic. The big problem in this area is there's only really one good way to get across the Mississippi River without traveling several miles in each direction.
Even in non-road construction areas, delivery drivers deal with traffic woes. In 2017, author Randall O'Toole released a report on Twin Cities traffic congestion. According to his data, traffic snarls cost businesses almost $4 billion a year because of lost time and wasted fuel. That was more than MnDOT's total 2016 budget of $3.4 billion.
Whatever time it takes, we just have to take their time and go slow. So certainly it can be a little frustrating. It can be, but that's the way you have to handle it.
If traffic seems more congested, you are not imagining things. MnDOT says the freeways are busier than ever.
MnDOT does take a hard look at that every year and reports on that. And we do see, percentage here or there.
Even a small amount of additional traffic is bad news for those in the business of moving goods from A to B.
When our drivers are behind, they can't get the clothes back to our production, so they can clean the clothes, press the clothes. That is a domino effect, so then the clothes get back late.
According to multiple reports on traffic patterns, the Twin Cities is now the 17th most congested metro area across the nation. By comparison, in 1982, the region was 35th. I'm Eric Nelson for CCX News.
Thank you, Eric. Still ahead, a generous donation that helps kids build vocabularies. But first, Champlin Park takes on Osseo in a key conference volleyball matchup. John Jacobson is in next.
I'm John Jacobson. Spots in the team portion of the state girls tennis tournament are up for grabs this week. Many of the teams in our CCX viewing area compete in Section 5AA. Top seed Armstrong meeting Buffalo in the semifinals. Nicole Snezko playing #1 singles for Armstrong starts her match with a bang. Big serve and then a huge forehand winner for the point. Later in the first set, Snezko shows some nice touch, putting the drop shot on the line for a point. And she'll serve going to go up 5-0 here. Another boomer with a forehand winner. And she wins 6-love, 6-love. Two singles. Mallory Leeton in the far court for Armstrong. She slices a nice approach shot and then gets the volley winner. Leeton will get it done from the baseline too later in the set, ripping a couple of tough backhands to get the point. And she goes on to win 6-4, 6-3. In one doubles play, Caitlin Moe serves for Armstrong. Renee Brunner punches the volley winner for a Falcons point. Anna Lee will jump on a serve by Brunner and drills the return winner for Buffalo. And later, it'll be Brunner getting the let ball, and she'll stroke a hard forehand winner. Buffalo sweeps to doubles, but Armstrong wins all 4 singles matches, including a big comeback by Kathy Stoikova at third singles to win 4-3. They advance to Thursday's final. The second semifinal Tuesday afternoon featured third seed Maple Grove taking on #2 seed Wayzata. Good to be indoors this day at Baseline Tennis Center. Maple Grove's Zoe Atkins with a strong serve at #1 singles that sets up a forehand winner. Atkins beats Miriam Steinman 6-1, 6-love. #2 singles, Maria Schultz of Maple Grove in the far court against Annika Alawalia. Schultz with a great placement down the line. She wins 6-love, 6-3. #1 doubles, Maple Grove Summer Demo serves. Her lob attempt doesn't get deep enough, and Lauren Lowe puts it away. Lowe and Natalie Epstein win the first set. Demos learns her lesson. She'll push this shot over the Trojans duo, and she and Ashley Denninger force a third set in this match. Second doubles, Maple Grove's Grace Bakke and Maddie Bross in the near court. Wayzata's Paige Griffith and Anisha Sharman take the point, and they win in straight sets. #3 singles, Wayzata's Irina Kornberg serves and then comes in and will win the point with an overhead. Emily Carlson rallies to force a third set, but it's Wayzata winning the match 4-3. They play Armstrong for the title on Thursday. While there are still several strong volleyball teams in the northwest suburbs, there is little doubt which one is the best. Champlin Park has dominated this season. Osseo hoping to take down the Rebels Monday night. Champlin Park's on the left in set 1. They get into their offense in a hurry, and Lauren Clark pounds home the big hit for a kill. Rebels go up 11-5. And they keep the big margin throughout that first set. Izzy Ashburn, nice back set to Clark for the kill. Champlin Park rolls 25-11, setting the tone in that opening set. Off the Champlin Park serve, Osseo gets an opportunity, but Hannah Pratsky and Clark get to seal it off with a block. And it's 8-0 Rebels in the second. Osseo will battle back, though. Carissa Furman, nice set of a tough ball. Lindy Ogery pounding it home for a point. The Orioles pull within 15-13. But the Rebels surge from there. Ashburn sets it quickly to Sammy Hilly for the smash. Champlin Park takes the last 10 points to win 25-13. In the third set, Osseo hangs in early. Furman with a well-disguised setter dump scores the point. The Orioles go up 9-7 here. But Champlin Park just too tough. Off a scramble, they'll get a great attack from Emma Schmidt coming up. The Rebels take the third set 25-16 to sweep Osseo. And finally, the section soccer playoffs are scheduled to get underway tonight, Tuesday. The Maple Grove girls are the #1 seed in Section 5AA and host Coon Rapids in the quarterfinals. Champlin Park is the 1 seed in the 5AA boys tournament. They're scheduled to host Spring Lake Park. The Wayzata girls are a top seed in Section 6AA, but don't start play until Thursday night. And that is all for sports. Shannon, back to you.
All right, thanks, John. In Local Vote 2018, we turn to Plymouth. There are 3 candidates on the ballot for a city council at-large seat, and today you will hear from all 3. They are Dan Brown, incumbent Ned Carroll, and Marky Williamson.
Hi, Plymouth. I'm Dan Brown, and I'm running for Plymouth City Council. Plymouth is a beautiful, diverse city with incredible potential. As an immigration attorney, I see a similar beautiful diversity pass through my offices every day, and I'm running for City Council to help Plymouth meet its potential. I hope to help Plymouth restore important commissions disbanded by the City Council on Human Rights and Transit. I would also like to help address its problems with hard and distasteful water. On a supposedly nonpartisan city council, I'm running to restore some political balance to a council that has, unfortunately, become far too partisan in its actions and attitudes. Beyond those simple points, I would like to see Plymouth address surface water, community solar, and train noise along the Canadian Pacific Line. You can find out more about my campaign at my Facebook page, Dan Brown for Plymouth City Council. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ned Carroll, and I'm running for re-election to the Plymouth City Council. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve you, and I'm asking for your vote. My wife and I have been Plymouth residents for 24 years and are raising our 3 daughters here. As a result, we have been deeply involved in the community. I previously served on the Shingle Creek Watershed Commission and as chair of the Plymouth Parks and Recreation Commission. Moreover, I have volunteered with the Wayzata School District. We need to keep Plymouth a well-run city with continued strong fiscal management while also providing for a growing city. My goal is to continue to provide for and improve upon our necessary public safety of police and fire protection, infrastructure, and recreational opportunities. I ask for your vote on November 6th. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marky Williamson. I'm a candidate for the Plymouth City Council at large. I have been a resident of Plymouth for 15 years, and my experience includes serving 14 years on the City Council of New Hope. Plymouth is practically 50-50 male and female. I believe in fair representation. It's imperative that we have women on the City Council. Women have a different perspective. Collaboration and connection are strengths women offer. Isn't it reasonable to expect that half of the council members are women? I need to tell you that the staff of the City of Plymouth is bright, dedicated, and respectful. If they can help, they will. Get to know them. It will make you even prouder to live in the City of Plymouth. Vote for Markey for City Council.
Up next, the gift that keeps on wordsmithing. We have that story when we come back. And finally, the word of the day is giving. Before its regular meeting, the Maple Grove Rotary Club was busy boxing up dictionaries. The books will go to 3rd graders in Maple Grove and Brooklyn Center. Rotarians say the donation is important, and not only because dictionaries help kids learn.
As some of these kids have never had a book. They've never owned a book. And so the idea that they have a book that's theirs, that no one can take, it belongs to them, is a big deal.
It is a big deal. About 850 dictionaries will be distributed to elementary schools. We'll see you next time.